And we're going to talk about the pearls. I'm going to tell the stories behind the pearl. And you can take a picture of the screen. So if you have any question, you can later email me. For those who don't have a copy of the book, and I'll be happy to send you a copy of the book later. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop sharing for just a moment, and I'm going to actually put something in the chat room. Let's see. I'm going to put in the chat room. Let's see. Chat room. Okay.
Yeah, you can put it.
Yeah, let me put it in the chat room. Okay. I'm going to change a little bit, update a little bit. So what I'm doing, ladies and gentlemen, is I am putting, this is going to be July 21st. Shi Ban Gong Bei. August 19th is the next one. July 21st. Okay. So August 19th is the next Shi Ban Gong Bei. Okay. Let me have this. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I put this here. Send in the chat room. Let me see if I can open the chat room. Yes. In the chat room. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and try to put it in there. Okay. I think, okay. So everybody sees in the chat room has my contact information and my email address, my website, and also my WeChat address. And there's three things underneath it. One is if anybody interested in Vision Zoom, next one is July 21st, Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. And the information is there. You can RSVP. And RSVP, yes. And the second Shi Ban Gong Bei is August 19th. Next one. Usually it's the third Wednesday of each month. The third item in the chat room right now is the free movie site link. If you have not seen it, you're welcome to check. So my suggestion, take a picture of the chat room so you have all the information. You can contact me later if you have any question. So that information will stay in the chat room. And Dr. Chen, if you can copy what's in the chat room, and when it gets pushed out, if people start posting questions in the chat room, you can then copy and paste back into the chat room. Thank you, Dr. Chen.
Yes, you're welcome.
Okay, so here we go. We'll start. I'm going to share the screen again. Share. Okay. So Dr. Chen, you can see it?
Yes, very good.
Okay. So as I said, I recommend people take a picture of the screen so you have all my contact information, and afterwards you're welcome to contact me if any question. And the free movie site link, as you see, is on the screen. Next Shi Ban Gong Bei monthly Zoom is August 19th, Wednesday, and you can take a picture of the screen. If you have not gotten a Shi Ban Gong Bei book, you're welcome to email me your mailing address, and I'll be happy to mail a Shi Ban Gong Bei book to you as a little present. In terms of my intro, I'm not going to read it, but simply says that I do eye surgeries, and I developed the amniotic membrane contact lens, helping blind patients all over the world, and we have a Sight Foundation to help blind orphan children, which is the subject of the film Sight. Now, in business, we often hear people say you need to work hard, but not only that, you need to work smarter. So let me ask you a question. What does that mean? What does smarter mean? what I have come to realize is that we have two ways of doing things. We could be emotional or we could be logical. We could be irrational, do whatever we feel like doing, versus rational, do things that we should be doing. We could then result in inefficiency if it's irrational, versus rational is efficient. So in short, when people say we need to work hard and also smarter, simply means you need to be more logical. When you're logical, you do not do things that you feel like doing. You only do things that you have thought it through and to do what you should be doing. Then you're a lot more efficient. And then you may wonder why I'm in a position to address this issue. Well, I have a unique life experience that kind of lends itself to the inquiry of emotional versus logical. Because I was born in the East and I live in the West. So Eastern philosophies are more emotional and Western philosophies are more logical. So I got a training experience for both. At the same time, I'm also a physician. That means I need to understand my patient's emotions, but also at the same time, I'm a laser physicist, so I need to be very logical about laser technology parameters. So this dual experience, emotional versus logical, both professionally and on my life experience, helped me understand both sides of the story. So a bit about my story. I grew up in China during Cultural Revolution, where for 10 years, from 1966 to 76, the government shut down all universities and colleges in China and sent away all to labor camp all the high school graduates for 10 years. And I caught that after junior high, and I also be sent away to labor camp. And as you see in the film side, the only way to escape that devastating fate of being sent away to labor camp is to play a music instrument, Chinese violin, erhu, and also learn to dance to avoid being sent away to labor camp. That didn't work, so I couldn't be sent away. Fortunately, 1976 rolled around, the Cultural Revolution ended, and I got a chance to go back to school. As you see in the film side, my parents helped me, and fortunate I listened to them. I worked very hard. 1977, I got into University of Science and Technology in China, the MIT of China. In 1982, I came to America, and I enrolled in a PhD program in laser physics at the University of Maryland. And then I wanted to go to med school to apply for my laser knowledge to medicine, but I was racially discriminated against, actually. Fortunately, I didn't listen to that. I worked even harder. So after laser physics, PhD, and postdoc, laser physics at MIT, I enrolled Harvard Med School, MIT, joined MD program, got my second doctorate degree, this time an MD from Harvard MIT. In 1991, I graduated, invited my parents over, thanking them. So the film site is dedicated to them. The reason I got two doctorate degrees, one medicine, one laser physics, is because medical technology is so technologically driven. Most of doctors have MD, but few doctors have a PhD in laser physics. And so I enjoyed that little advantage, having dual training in medicine and laser physics. I performed over 55,000 laser vision corrections, including on over 4,000 doctors. This is my Harvard MIT joint MD graduate diploma. I also met then President Ronald Reagan at the White House. In the movie side, you saw that I was trying to help this 5-year-old blind orphan child, Kajol, who was actually intentionally blinded by her own stepmother, who poured sulfuric acid into her eyes. So in an attempt to make her a blind orphan child, who then sing on the street, who beg, who get more money. After Kajol was maliciously blinded, she was found to have no talent of singing. She couldn't sing. That's why she was abandoned. So the movie side started by our foundation brought this 5-year-old blind orphan Kajol and trying to help her come from darkness to light. And this Kajal's eyes all scarred up. There was no treatment. No treatment. And I realized that a fetus does not scar, so I want to do research on fetus to help Kajal, but at the same time, I don't want to hurt the baby. Is it possible to do fetal research without hurting baby? In other words, do science and faith, moral ethical principles, have a common ground? Fortunately, I did not give up. I continued my research, believing that God will point at the way to do research to help Kajal, you doing fetal research, but at the same time protecting the life of a fetus. And finding common ground, or even publish common ground Bible study, I believe there's a way. And through much praying, and realized that we can use the amniotic membrane, part of the placenta. Maybe an unborn child can heal without scar, has to do with the placenta. So I got lots of placenta donated to me, and I start doing research and eventually developed the amniotic membrane contact lens. When we put the amniotic contact lens on the injured eyes, indeed, miracle happened. The scar is much reduced. The eyes start healing as if it were not born yet, healing without scar, ability we all used to have before birth. Then I decided to donate my technology to the world. I donated my patent and went around the world to teach free of charge 50-some countries, over 10,000 eye doctors how to use the technology. Today, as shown in the film site, the amniotic contact lens technology is a $5 billion a year industry. Millions of patients have had eyesight helped. Even though I did not make any money myself because I donated my patent in the beginning, but I'm happy that so many people get helped, and also I did what I can as an immigrant to contribute to this country. As we get older, eyes get drier. This is a patient in her 70s. Eye gets really dry, painful, couldn't see for many years. We put amniotic contact lens on her. Her eyes eyesight restored, and her dry eyes treated. So amniotic contact lens technology, which is the subject of the film site, shows not only medical technology that is the main treatment of dry eye, age-related dry eye now in the world today, but also shows that science and faith can indeed work together. There's a way to advance science, but also protecting life at the same time. Nashville, Tennessee, where I live, we have a technology very advanced due to my dual training in medicine and PhD in laser physics. I did lots of research, published a paper in the journal Nature. And also, these are the 10 textbooks I published over the years and helped the surgeons around the world to improve their weak area, which is technology. And 7 of the textbooks have been translated into Mandarin Chinese. I served on US FDA ophthalmic device panel, and also we training surgeons. We performed the world's first laser artificial horn implantation. So to finish the part of the eye, we have 6 common eye conditions: nearsightedness, farsightedness, astigmatism, presbyopia, and cataract, and dry eyes, which can be treated with amniotic contact lens. So the top 5 technologies all can be treated: nearsighted, farsighted, astigmatism, presbyopia, and cataract, using these top 4 technologies. You can take a picture of the screen, and if you have any question in the Q&A, you can ask questions. In the left upper corner, smile. LASIK surgery is going out of date. LASIK surgery is becoming obsolete. It's now replaced by a much better technology called SMILE. The lower left corner is the implantable contact lens. We have a technology to put the contact lens in the eye, so you never need to remove it. In the middle, over age 45, we've got a forever young lens technology, get rid of distance glasses and get rid of reading glasses forever. On the right side is the cataract surgery can be done with laser. Despite these top 4 technology are the best that the world has to offer in year 2026, only 5% US surgeons are performing it, because most of the doctors are still learning. So that's why it's important to recognize and these technology available. If you're going to eye surgery, do with laser, the best technology, or don't do it at all. Even though in the United States, the percentage of doctors using these top 4 technologies or lasers only 5% today, at the Wang Vision Institute here in Nashville, Tennessee, we use these top 4 technologies 100%. We're leading the country in the percentage of high-tech application laser in eye surgeries. So that this is state's first smile, which is making LASIK surgery obsolete. And forever young lens, get rid of reading glasses forever. You never need reading glasses. You could be 99 years old, you still will not need reading glasses. And cataract surgery can be done with laser, but only 5% by laser today in America. So if you can have eye surgery, do the best. Do the laser. Don't use blade. These are some country star patients, and I have been returning to China teaching, performing China first all laser LASIK. Now here in Nashville, Tennessee, we have patients from all over the world, from all 50 states and 40 states and 55 countries. The reason we have the foundation is to help blind orphan children. This is real Kajal. You see in the film the actress who played her, but this is the real person. In Cultural Revolution, I learned dancing to escape labor camp. Now it's helping my medical charity now called the Eyeball. In Cultural Revolution, I had to learn the Chinese violin to escape labor camp. Now I use the instrument to connect East and the West. Yes, I also help build an immigrant minority business group to help Latin Americans, African Americans, Asian Americans to improve their business. And if any of you are interested, you can take a picture of this. September the 7th, quarterly, we hold educational forums to help immigrant minorities improve their business. So you're welcome to come to our quarterly forum on Tennessee Immigrant Minority Business Group, for which I'm the founder. And September 10th is the next quarterly forum. I also give a testimony at churches all the time about faith and science having common ground. And this national rating of the year Kiwanis is an honor, and I teach locally at Trevecca University. So this is a little part of my story, very quick, and I published in the book, Autobiography from Darkness Side. So I will finish this part, self-introduction, by showing the 2 minutes trailer of the movie Sight. You may want to turn up your computer sound a little bit. So 2 minutes trailer, Sight.
I'm going to help you see again.
You said it was impossible.
Ah, there he is, the good doctor.
You're going to be on the cover of the Tennessee Herald tomorrow morning. You may get a date out of this.
Not with that picture.
Very funny one.
Our pro bono office got a call from India. A little girl, 6 years old.
Apparently, street beggars make more money if they're legitimately blind. So the stepmother poured sulfuric acid in each of her eyes.
I'm going to help you see again, Kajal.
Is it true that multiple doctors declared your patient irreversibly blind?
Yes, I developed this new breakthrough technology. Here we go. Do you see the light?
No. I can't see anything.
I have this patient from India. She reminds me of some things in the past that I can't get over.
The present is made possible by the past.
A long time ago back in China, there was an uprising in my hometown. Many bad things happened.
So you came to America.
Yes.
It's hard getting into medical school, but you coming from China, don't waste your time.
You cannot change the past, Ming. I feel like I'm stuck.
Hello, doctor. This is Maria.
We want to give her a chance to see again.
I don't even know if I can perform surgery anymore. I left you.
Stop it.
You need to just let go. I just don't want Maria to end up like Kajal.
Can only do our best. I'm with you, Ming. We can do this.
I refuse to believe there is no purpose.
I will be praying for you.
Kajal is teaching me that there's more to life than what you see. We have to keep going.
Thought you said it was impossible.
Can you see yourself, Maria?
I'm so pretty.
So you can take a picture of the screen. If you help share the free movie link with friends, you're literally helping the foundation, because more people watch the film via this free link, more will get to know our foundation's work in helping blind orphan children from around the world, like Kajal, and therefore more of these kids could be helped. So thank you for your support to the foundation by sharing this free side movie link as such. So next Shi Ban Gong Bei is August 19th. As I said, we need to work smarter. Working smarter meaning more rational. And it's important to recognize that we as human beings are largely emotional, irrational. One of the common questions that people get to me, that sent to me, is how much efficiency can I actually improve by studying those Shi Ban Gong Bei pros? The answer may surprise you. Up to 1,000%. In fact, very interestingly, the question I get asked to me my lifetime is always the most common questions that friends ask me is that, Ming, you do this, you do that, like how many hours in a day do you have? Like 40 hours or something? My answer always surprised them. I usually say that sometimes I feel like I have 72, 96 hours. They say, how come? The answer is very simple. I use these Shi Ban Gong Bei pros. Jonathan Haidt, the famous behavioral psychologist, he wrote a book called The Righteous Mind. He said that 90% of ourselves is emotional, irrational, and inefficient. Then I thought, well, if we're 90% emotional big elephant, then we're hopeless as human beings. Then a Duke professor published another New York Times bestseller, says predictably irrational. We are irrational, all right, therefore inefficient, but we're predictably so. So in other words, we have a pattern. So for example, when you have something happen, let's say you have a friend, you work together with Johnny, and then something, in the business did not go so well, statistically could be 50% my fault, could be 50% Johnny's fault, right? But invariably, as a human being, I often just blame on Johnny. Hey, Johnny, it's all your fault. It cannot be. Statistically, it should be 50% my chance my fault as well, right? But we don't behave that way. We're irrational, meaning we don't analyze the evidence. We just say, Johnny's your fault. But we're predictably so, meaning almost never I will proactively admitting it's my fault. You see, human nature is irrational, but there's a pattern. So standing on the shoulder of these two giants, one said we're irrational. Some second person then really said that we are predictably irrational. Standing on the shoulder of these two giants, I published the third book in human behavior in this area called Shi Ban Gong Bei, meaning since we're irrational, but we're systematically so, there's a pattern, so we can literally find out the pattern, and then specifically overcome that. Since 90% of ourselves is irrational, so if you convert 90% into rational, from inefficient irrational to efficient rational, you can improve your percentage of your efficiency, whatever you do, by up to 10 times, therefore 1,000%. So Shi Ban Gong Bei is essentially, I spent decades of my life, I started accumulating observation of people who are a lot smarter than me, smarter students, smarter colleagues, and I watched why these are smart. I found there's a pattern. There's a pattern. They're generally more rational. They recognize human irrational behavior and they apply logic. So I have so far over 40 some years of observation, I accumulate 77 pros, 77 things that people do we are not rational. So basically, the Shi Ban Gong Bei little booklet, you can finish reading the whole book in 10 minutes. You would literally identify these 77 pros and apply logical solution to it. Now, I carry this little booklet every day wherever I go, and on average, I apply about 5 to 10 pros a day. So if you can do that, you can improve the efficiency of what you do by up to 1,000%. Now, we have gone through some of the early pros. So today's session, we start at pro 31. So let's jump to pro 31. And if you listen every month, you literally will be able to have a chance to cover all pros, okay? So each Zoom, we go through about 8 to 10 pros per Zoom. Next one is August 19th. Pro 31. yin and yang. Life is about balance, yin and yang. Going one extreme often generates exactly the opposite effect of what you desire. If you are extreme in your effort at something, you can actually end up being non-productive, bad at accomplishing that desired goal. It's very interesting. Somebody can be so good, so overbearing, he or she can actually be bad. So life is about finding that balance between yin and yang, between doing nothing and doing too much. You literally can do too much because if you do not recognize the writing on the wall, the signs everywhere that's not going to work, you continue to do it, then that's bad as well. It's very important to recognize that because our human tendency is we either extremely lazy, we don't do nothing, or we just blindly do things without evaluating the likelihood of success. We literally behaving that way. It's very interesting. The human beings are not very uncommon, will sit back and look at it, have I passed the point of no return or past the point of lesser return? Okay, so life is not about not working. Life is not about working all the time. Life is about finding a point in the middle in which the amount of work just accomplished about the optimal result. Optimal result does not exist at laziness, no work. Optimal result does not exist in a 100% effort either. Optimal result exists in the middle, at the point where the ratio of work and non-work is optimal. And then you say, how can I find this point? Well, it turns out you have to experiment, and different people have different midpoint. For you, you have to find your ratio. You have to find your yin and yang. So when people say find your yin and yang, meaning find just the right ratio of work and rest. It's not about all rest. It's not about all work. 32. Before you speak, first rank your questions or answers. People pay most attention to what you say first. So before you ask a question or answer one, first think it through in your own mind, and then ask the most important question first. Similarly, when answering a question, figure out your top and most critical answer and state that first. So this is another human behavioral irrationality that I have observed in my friends and in myself. Very interesting that if someone asks me a question, they say, Ming, why do you do that? I usually answer that question with whatever comes to my mind first. That is not the best approach. Because if I have 3 answers, whatever comes to my mind first may not be the most important of the 3. Right? Then you say, so what? You're going to tell me the second thing anyway, right, Ming? And you're going to tell me the third reason anyway. Well, what is the purpose of our communication? It's to be heard and to be understood, right? It turns out, whatever I say first, whatever I answer first, the listener has maximum attention. Let's say 100%. Whatever I say the second, the listener only hear 50%. Whatever I say the third answer, third reason, the listener dwindle further, only have 25% attention. So I should not just answer whatever comes to my mind first. I need to look at the 3 answers in my mind, rank them, and speak only the most important first, because my listener has 100% attention to the first thing I say, 50% attention to the second thing I say, and only 25% attention to the third thing I say. So communication, it's not about whatever, just speak out whatever you said, whatever you think first in your mind. Communications, whether you're asking a question or answering one, it's always about sit back, look at the 3 answers you have, rank them, and always speak the most important answer first, speak the second important answer second. So for example, in the business meeting, they say, hey, Johnny, the company business is not too good last year. Why do you think that's the case? Our human natural behavior is very inefficient. Normally, I just kind of blurb out whatever comes to my mind first. It's because blah, blah, blah. But we are there to solve the problem. When I start talking, everybody has the most attention. But when I finished my talking first point, people kind of, attention deviates, got diffused. They don't pay as much attention to the second thing I say. And then you say, you mean we tend to blur out whatever we think in our mind without ranking them in our mind first? Correct. That is why we are not efficient as human beings. Because literally, very often, when we do get to our most important point, which is I speak as the third last thing, people are falling asleep. They're not hearing what I'm saying. They only have 25% attention. You see how inefficient that is? So this pro is about recognizing this human nature by addressing this question, because what I want is have people have the most attention to the most important thing that I say. So recognizing people just dwindle down their attention over time, I need to make sure I speak the most important first. So you see an example of recognizing human tendency, always hearing the first thing the most. By recognizing human tendency as such, then I rank them in my heart and only speak the most important thing first. That's an example how Shi Ban Gong Bei is going to make you a lot more efficient, because you're going to help people hearing more what you're saying by ranking than speaking, not just simply go straight to speaking. 33, frog at the bottom of a well. Each of us is a frog on the bottom of a well, i.e. our perspective, basis on judgments and opinions are limited by our own experience and exposure. We look up, see a small round patch of clear sky, and then believe it is a beautiful day. However, when we climb out of the well up to the ground level, and now are able to look around the entire sky, we may realize it's actually pretty cloudy. We see the small patch of sky earlier. That is because we are limited by the small size of sampling. That little round patch of sky we saw earlier is not at all representative of the entire sky. This pro really helped me over the years, because when I have a difference with someone, right, start arguing, I often got frustrated. I say, how come, Johnny, you don't see what I see? Right? Obviously, based on what I see, the logic is very clear. Blah, blah, blah. But how come you don't see it? How come you don't see what I see, Johnny? Well, the answer is, interestingly, he literally does not see what I see. Because Johnny is a different human being. Johnny has different human experience, life experience. So he literally has been exposed to different part of life than what I have. So he only sees a little patch of sky. He can only make judgment, make an opinion based on what he sees. We as human beings only believe things we have experienced. We don't like to be preached. We don't like to be told what to do. We only believe when we actually see it. So I may, yelling at Johnny until cows come home. I can say, hey, Johnny, don't you see there's a patch of cloud over here? Well, if Johnny is a frog at the bottom, well, he looks up. He doesn't see that patch of cloud over outside the little round patch of sky. As far as he's concerned, that world in which there's a cloud in the sky doesn't exist. That world does not exist. There's no way he will ever agree with me. So when we meet someone who has different opinions, we need to recognize that human nature is very inefficient. We just jump into arguing. Hey, how come you have different opinions? No way. What you think is totally ridiculous, Johnny. This pros tell us, before we critical of Johnny or whatever he believes is totally ridiculous, we need to recognize he's actually seeing a different patch of sky. Every one of us, myself included, is a frog at the bottom of a well. We are all limited. We only see what we actually have experienced. So when we are communicating with another human being, before we start arguing the point of view, first, we have to assess what we each are seeing. Is there any overlap between my round patch of sky and Johnny's? If my round patch of sky that I have experienced as a human being does not share in any way or any overlap with the patch of sky that Johnny has seen in his lifetime, I better pause and really trying to kind of combine the experience together in some fashion, experience a little bit what he experienced, or he needs to experience a little bit what I experienced. Otherwise, we don't even have any common ground to reach any agreement whatsoever. Then you say, you mean that we human beings actually wasting our time to argue without specifically qualifying ahead of time, we're at least talking about the same thing? Yes, surprisingly so. It's like Democrat and Republican Party. They argue all the time for the sake of argument, for power, money, and control. They are actually often talking about different things. Actually, politician, it's interesting. A reporter can go up to the politician and say, hey, Senator, what do you think about the housing cost? Interestingly, the politician doesn't answer the question, does not answer the question. Politicians always say, they always deflect the question. They say, oh, before I talk about the cost of housing, let me talk about something else. Because he literally is about to talk about something else. You see how ridiculous it is? Our natural human behavior. We literally do not recognize that in order to have a productive, efficient communication, we have to first make sure we are talking about the same thing. Human being is very inefficient. We grab on whatever the things that we have experienced, and we just make an assumption. Everybody else have lived through the same life that I have. It's totally ridiculous. How could another person live the same life experience that I have? But we do. We are not rational. We are not reasonable. We are not logical as human beings. So the power of Shi Ban Gong Bei is to recognize the intrinsic weakness in each of us. Recognize that before we actually converse with another person, it is very important to recognize each of us is a frog at the bottom of a well. Before we argue about point of view, let's compare our experience first. See whether there's any shared experience. The only productive conversation about point of view, about opinions, will only come from the overlap of my little patch of sky and that of Johnny's. You see? You see how much time we waste by arguing without at least find the common shared part of experience first. So you get a taste of Shi Ban Gong Bei Pearl now. You realize that how much we violate each of these 77 pearls. That is why we're wasting time. That's why our country is polarized and cannot address the problem we're facing as a nation because these political parties are only polarizing, dividing themselves because they don't have common sense. They don't recognize you got to first exchange experience first. Otherwise, you're going to just keep on arguing. We'll never ever find a common ground. Then you say, Ming, this is common sense. What is so special about this? This is not rocket science. My answer is interesting. Each of the 77 Shi Ban Gong Bei pearls, none of them is rocket science. It's all common sense. It's not about what we don't recognize this. It's about we actually do not practice the Shi Ban Gong Bei pearls. Isn't it interesting? So when you get this little booklet from me, you look at the book and you say, nothing rocket science means these are all common sense. But then you ask the question, do we actually do it? 99% of the time, we don't do it because we are not logical. We do whatever we feel like doing. We do not think it through as human beings. The power of Shi Ban Gong Bei is not the rocket science. It's about making us not only work harder, but work smarter. And working smarter simply means think it through a little bit more logically. 34. The goal of communication. The goal of our communication should not be just get the chance to talk. The goal should be making sure that our listeners do understand what we are talking about. Don't just continue talking and be oblivious to whether or not your listener actually understands or even cares at all about what you're talking about. I mean, you and I all have the experience. You go to a party, you meet Johnny, first time. Hello, what's your name? Johnny, what's your name? Ming. And then start talking. And lo and behold, Johnny start talking about his sister, his uncle, his child. And I'm there like, Johnny, you think I care? I know your sister? I only met yourself for the first time. I mean, you think I care about your uncle? I don't have any idea who your uncle is. Why keep on talking about them to me? I only met yourself for the first time. I don't even know you. Why start talking about your sister and uncle? But it is our common experience. All of you, I'm sure you have the experience. You go to a party, Johnny just keep on talking about himself, about his uncle, auntie, and I mean, it's like complete oblivious whether or not I understand what he's talking about, or do I even care about what he's talking about? Then you say, wait a minute, Ming, you mean we actually behave such an irrational, inefficient way, just wasting time talking for the sake of talk? Correct. You all have that experience. People talk for the sake of talking. They don't watch out whether the listener is interested, and they don't even examine logically whether the listener has any chance to be interested. What's the chance of me care what Johnny's uncle is doing when I only meet Johnny for the first time? Logically, it's not possible for me to be interested in Johnny's uncle. But guess what? Johnny keep on talking about his uncle in that social setting. So the power of Shi Ban Gong Bei Pearl is literally recognize these inefficiencies and eliminate them. Don't waste time. Just focus on talk about things that you have a reason to believe your listener might be interested. and just save your time. For 90% of other things you talk about, your listener has no chance to be interested or already expressed no interest. Don't waste time. The purpose communication is not just about talking. Purpose communication is to make sure we are understood. It's way, way common sense, but we as human beings don't do that. We are not rational. We are irrational. While it is a bad thing, we're irrational. We're wasting so much time normally. But it's a good news in the sense that if you recognize this, you intentionally improve yourself, you're going to be a lot more efficient than many of your peers. That's what the efficiency of Shi Ban Gong Bei pros comes, because most people don't even recognize this. 35. The best teacher. The best teacher is not someone who knows the most. Think about it. That's what we assume, right? The best teacher is someone who knows the most. No. The best teacher is someone who knows the most about what his or her students know. It's very important to recognize this, because when we want to be a little teacher, and all of us wanted to be teacher, formally or informally throughout our life, you tell something to Johnny about a new car, you're a little teacher. You're educating Johnny about this new car. We focus unilaterally. We only focus what I know. Hey, Johnny, let me tell you about Tesla. More importantly, what I know about Tesla, in order to truly be connected and be efficient in my communication to Johnny, more important than what I know about Tesla is how much he knows and what he does not know. You see? It's totally changed the game. Because if your goal is to be most effective in your communication, don't just be satisfied of your knowing the subject matter alone. More important than your knowing the subject matter is to know what the listener knows, what your listener does not know about the subject that you're about to talk about. Because if you know what your listener does not know, then you can communicate that part and that part alone. Because your goal is to help him. What's the point of talking something that he already knows? What is the point of not talking about something he does not know? You see how shockingly this is common sense this pro is? But I have observed in many others and in myself, we often violate this rule. Because we're self-centered. Human being is self-centered. I only care what I know. Not recognizing in the communication, at the end of the day, it's not about what I know. It's about what my listener does not know. 36. People may be wrong, but they will want to be respected and heard. Although people may be wrong, they still want to be respected and heard. So respect them. Let them fully express their opinion and consider carefully what they say. This is amazing. I see this pro violated every day. Either in myself, if I'm not watching out, and sometimes, certainly in all the news, all the things I see. Because we are so self-centered as human beings, we often hurt another person before we even express our opinion. For example, you meet someone, I'm a Christian. Christian make that mistake all the time. He said, hey, Johnny, the first question we go is like, what church do you go? Come on, you cannot assume he's a Christian. He may not be a believer. So you got to respect him. You cannot assume he goes to church and just make him feel smaller when he's, oh, I don't go to church. No, you have to recognize, you have to respect that person. Or even worse, sometimes we say, oh, you're not Christian, you're not going to be saved. You're going to go to hell. What? How lack of common sense that statement is. If you put someone down, is that person will ever listen to you? Doesn't matter how correct you are. That person will never listen to you because you don't respect that person as a human being to begin with. Joe Wang is a very interesting comedian from China. He has this joke, which is very to the point. He said, I came from China, 6 months ago. One Sunday, I was, in my house, minding on my own business when I heard a knock on the door. I opened the door, this very nice lady, and with a Bible in her hand. And she goes, hey, do you want to know Jesus Christ? Do you know Jesus Christ? And Joe said, I don't. And she goes, let me tell you about Jesus Christ. Okay. Afterwards, and she goes, now do you know Jesus Christ now? Do you believe? Joe said, no. And she goes, then you're condemned. You go to hell. And Joe Wang said, wait a minute. There are 1.4 billion people in China, and most of them are not Christians. Are they all going to go to hell? None of them, most of them don't know Jesus Christ. And she goes, well, they don't go to hell because they don't know Jesus Christ. But now you do. Then Joe Wang said, then what do you tell me? I was minding my own business on a Sunday, enjoying myself, and you knock on my door and just want me to go to hell. Why don't you even bother to tell me with the purpose just want me to go to hell? You see the joke? That we are so lack of common sense often, Christian or non-Christians, all of us, that sometimes we don't recognize the human being. If you don't respect another person, you don't even have the basis to even begin the communication. Today, in our country, this is lack of understanding of this 36 Pro 36 is ubiquitous. Political discourse, discussions, debate in our government commonly lack this common sense. The very reason that we're so polarized, the very reason we are so divided, the very reason we are so paralyzed as a nation to truly address the issue that we need to address: gun violence, opioid crisis, environmental disaster, racial tension, poverty, education, healthcare, jobs. We cannot solve the problem America faces because we are so divided and polarized. We are so unwilling to work across political aisles, racial divides, and ethnic divisions. And the reason we're so polarized is because we forgot. Human being, no matter how different his or her opinions from mine, what he or she wants first and foremost is to be respected first. When you don't respect another person, you have zero chance to find a common ground. So this Pro 36 is literally the root cause of our paralysis of America, our inability to improve ourselves. 37, left and right brain. 1 + 1, interestingly, more than 2. A right brain dominant person is supposed to be creative, artistic, and one is considered to be left brain is rational and logical. However, we should not be limited by these classifications. Often you hear the expression, people say, I'm right brain, meaning I'm not creative, so I'm not good at this logical mathematics or whatever. And instead, what I find that you can use your creative right brain to deal with the left brain tasks, meaning apply artistry to, I've been using artistry to apply logic left brain tasks such as precision eye surgery. Then I do the other way. When I'm dealing with right brain creative things such as ballroom dancing, I use left brain stuff to help me understand the creative using physics, which is logical. So what I'm suggesting, what I think lots of people who are very capable, are very smart, like Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, these people accomplish so much more than most of us, is because they literally do not accept the isolation of two brain halves. They're willing to combine together. They use the right brain, the creative, to solve logical problems, and use the logical brain, the left brain, to deal with creative problems. When you're able to use the two sides of the brain together, work synergistically, you literally can create a situation where 1 + 1 equals more than 2. So challenge to all of you, next time you see a logical problem, don't just give up, say, I'm creative, I'm not good with these logical things. No, use your creative, address a logical problem, and vice versa. You will get this magical amplification of your capabilities because using both sides of the brain together is so much more powerful than using one side of the brain alone. We're literally limiting ourselves by giving up the interbrain interaction. 38. Don't do it. Don't write it. If you do not want people to know what you're doing, then simply don't do it. If you don't want people to read what you have written, then just don't write it. I mean, this is incredible. I have observed in myself and many others, human being is amazingly just totally ignorant about this point. That it's very simple, that we need to recognize that if we really don't want somebody to know what I've written, just don't write it, because there's a chance somewhere something's going to accidentally be read, right? And then you say, can you give an example? I mean, are we violating this thing all the time? The answer is yes. Give you an example. Have you ever forwarded an email? I have. I accidentally will forward email to someone with a tree not intended for the later person who get that forwarded email. Then I got all kinds of misunderstanding. And Johnny will he said, man, I heard you say something bad about me. I said, did I? He said, yeah. And I said to myself, I didn't write anything. I mean, I don't like Johnny, but I didn't tell him that I don't like him. Well, I told him, complain about him to Nancy. But Nancy, in reply to me and talking to Johnny, didn't pay attention, accidentally forwarded the tree to Johnny. And that's how Johnny knows I was complaining about him. You see that? So, very simple. If you don't want Johnny to know, if I don't want Johnny to know that I'm complaining about him, don't write it down. 39. Don't criticize unless you have a better idea. If you don't have a better idea, then keep your mouth shut. If you want to criticize something, always be ready to offer what you believe is a better solution. We violate these principles all the time. You talk to Eric. You say, hey, Eric, I don't like the way you do this thing. Then if Eric said, okay, Ming, you don't like the way I do this thing, do you have any better idea? Very often I say, no. So what's the point? If you're critical of someone, assuming the purpose is to do that thing, maybe a little bit better, but if you're critical of the way that Eric does it and you don't have any better idea, guess what? The most efficient thing to do is shut up. Because the assumption is you're going to do that, right? We need to do that thing. Either you have better idea or you just take whatever is there. There's no point of being critical, but yet don't have a better solution. We violate this pearl constantly, all of us, myself included. And I found we are just wasting lots of time. We go into the rant, we're criticizing Johnny, no, this is bad. And then Johnny goes, okay, man, you don't like the weather. Any better ideas? And no, I don't have a better idea. What's the point? It's just totally complete waste of saliva. Then you say, Ming, we actually do these things? We actually criticize someone when we have no clue what's the better way of doing it? My answer, shockingly, is yes. That's how human beings are. Shi Ban Gong Bei pearls is identify these totally not making sense, irrational behaviors and don't do them. Now you see how efficient you can become because you literally don't waste any criticism when you know you don't have a better solution. You're saving yourself time. You're saving the listener's time. You are saving everybody's time. Final pearl today, the ultimate drive in life. The ultimate drive in life is to love what you do. If you don't, change. Steve Jobs, in his only commencement speech he had made in his life, was 2006 at Stanford University graduation. He basically said that he shared 3 life pearls, but last the 3 he shared was that people say, how come, Steve, you create so many things, iPhone, iPad, you really changed how we live our lives as human beings, right? I mean, literally, iPhone totally changed how human beings behave, what we do every moment in life, right? So, Steve, how did you have that creativity? How did you do all these things? And his answer is very simple. My criteria is I make sure what I do is something I love. And so people say, how did you figure out whether you love something or not? He said, very simple too. You get up in the morning, you go to brush your teeth, you look in the mirror, you ask yourself the question, what I'm about to do today, does that excite me? If it does, go for it. If it doesn't, next day, repeat the same routine. If day, after many times, what you're about to do when you get up in the morning, look in the mirror, what you're about to do that day does not excite you many times in a row, then change. Life is too short to be confined to do something that you don't love. Okay, we have come to the end of 10 pearls. And to cover all 77 pearls, you literally need to attend 12 Shi Ban Gong Bei Zoom. And next Shi Ban Gong Bei Zoom is August 19. And so again, working smarter, meaning more logical. Today is about recognizing the illogical weakness in ourselves, all of us, myself included, and how to overcome that. And as I said, I'm uniquely positioned to address this combination logical versus illogical because I have my life upbringing and my profession, both as a physician, which I have to deal with emotions, and laser physicist, which I have to deal with physics, logical. You can literally improve up to 1,000%. As I said, the question I get most asked to me is, Ming, how many hours in a day do you have? You do too many different things. My answer is always surprising. I say, sometimes I feel like 72, 96 hours. It's because I use these Shi Ban Gong Bei pearls. Jonathan Haidt said 90% irrational, therefore inefficient. Then I really said that we're predictably irrational. Both are New York Times bestsellers. So therefore, standing on the shoulder of these 2 giants, I published this third book. Since we are irrational, inefficient, but we're systematically so, we have a pattern of behavior as such. Today, the 10 pearls you see is all common patterns of inefficient behaviors in human beings. Then I recognize them, and the correct logical, rational solution you can literally improve your efficiency, whatever you do, by up to 1,000%. For example, you're going to stop complaining about something when you don't have a better solution. That saves you lots of time. You're going to stop talking to someone who obviously not interested in what you're talking about. You're going to stop trying to convince something about life's viewpoint when you have not examined whether that person at least share a little bit of life experience as you do. And you're going to stop doing things that day after day and week after week you don't like it, and recognize life is too short to do something you don't like. You see how it is? You literally can transform your life by recognizing this innate human behavioral weakness is we tend to be irrational, illogical. As a result, we tend to do what we feel like doing rather than what we should be doing after thinking through carefully. Next time when somebody asks you a question, you're not going to blurb out whatever you think, whatever comes to your mind first. You are going to think about it. Rank in your mind the 3 answers you have, and only speak first the most important answer. Recognizing people have 100% attention to the first thing you say, but only 50% attention to the second thing you say, and only 25% attention to the third thing you say. You literally, it's going to be a lot more efficient. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you August 19th. Usually it's the 3rd Wednesday every week. And if you're interested in the Shi Ban Gong Bei book, email me your mailing address. You can take a picture of this. And Dr. Chan has put in the chat room. In the chat room, you see my contact information, which is the next Vision Zoom is is July 21st. On the screen here, you're welcome to come 1 hour Zoom learning everything. Smile surgery, making LASIK surgery obsolete. Implantable contact lens, put the contact lens inside the eye you never need to remove. Forever young lens, get rid of reading glasses forever. And cataract surgery using laser. Even though these technologies are the best technology humankind has to offer in year 2026, but only 5% of US surgeons are performing it today. 95% are still using the old blade technology today. But at One Vision Institute, we use the top technology laser 100%. We are number 1 in the United States right now in leading the country in the percentage of laser application for eye surgery. So it's all about using the best technology if it comes to your eyes. So you're welcome to come to the Zoom every Tuesday, but this coming one is July 21st, Tuesday. And any question, you're welcome to email me as well. And if you want to have the book, you can visit Wang Foundation, $25, write a check to Wang Foundation, and you are donating. All my books proceeds donate to foundation. And finally, appreciate your support to our Sight Foundation in our work in helping blind orphan children from around the world by sharing with friends this free Sight movie link. As such, more people watch the film, more people will be aware of our foundation working helping blind orphan children. Therefore, more of these kids could be helped. Thank you. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing and go to any questions. Anybody in the chat room, you see that we all have the next Zoom and July 21st, next Shi Ban Gong Bei Zoom, August 19th, and also the free movie link as well, both in Chinese and in English. Any questions? Any question? You can speak anything about either Shi Ban Gong Bei Zoom or about the eye or whatever you want to ask. You're welcome. So just with a few minutes, any questions?
You can unmute yourself. Anyone?
Yeah,
if you have any question.
I see my friend Jared. Yeah, thank you. Good to see you again. Jared is one of the friends that got my Shi Ban Gong Bei book very early on. And actually, Jerry, I didn't tell you, and this news for everybody. Somebody became a volunteer. I have not met him. He lives somewhere in China. Free of charge, he has converted each of my pros into a little video. Each video is like a few minutes. And if you're interested in those videos, email me, and I'll be happy to send you. So you can, when you drive, you can listen to these pros. And this guy's amazing. His name's Simon. He did it completely voluntarily, free, and he already made 25 videos. So 25 of the 77 pros is actually in the video form. It's short video, only a few minutes. So email me, and I'll be happy to send you those video. And so when you drive, you can listen. Again, the key for the Shi Ban Gong Bei pros is these are not rocket science. These are all common sense. It's not that we did not know them. We actually do know all of them. We just simply do not apply them. So the only way to constantly apply them to make yourself a lot more efficient is to constantly review these pearls. Okay, I have my little book with me all the time. I listen to Simon's 25 video he already made, Shi Ban Gong Bei Pros video all the time, because I found myself, my innate human nature, which is inefficient, 90% elephant, is so strong. Unless I constantly remind myself these 77 pros, I end up not using them. And then back to square one. I'm just wasting my time. And none of us wants to waste our time. All of us wants to spend half the time accomplishing double, which is what Shi Ban Gong Bei means in Chinese. So it's to recognize, and I've done heavy lifting. Over the last 40-some years in my life, I observed these 77 human weakness, irrationalities, and I've seen people a lot more successful. You know, you think about this. Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, do they have extra head? Do they have an extra arm? No. They're just like you and me. They're regular people. They have one head, two arms. The reason they can do 10 times more, 100 times more than every human being I have observed is because they recognize our human behavioral weakness and specifically address them by doing things what they should be doing rather than what they feel like doing, as all of us do. So, Dr. Chen, you have probably like 2,000 people or so on your emailing list? Okay.
Yes.
That's good, yeah. And anybody interested in video, just email me. My email address is in the chat room. You can take a picture in the chat room, and I will mail you a free book, and you can finish reading book in 10 minutes, the whole book. And also, if you want to be, actually, Dr. Chen, I'm thinking loud here, that I'm going to share this pro with you, Dr. Chen.
Okay.
Both Chinese and English. Then I leave it to you, figure out what's the format to share these videos with the people on our list. But lots of people don't necessarily want to read, because remember, reading not only kind of boring to read things, but also literally you have to remind it almost daily. These 77 pros. The best way to remind ourselves is literally put in the car and listen while we're driving or something. So I will follow up Dr. Chen with these 77 pros, 25 of them already in the video form. Each video is only a few minutes. Beautifully done. Simon did it as a volunteer that donated his time. So I'm going to send both English and Chinese, and you figure out a way on your end how to share. So my suggestion, Dr. Chen, my suggestion is through WeChat, to send the people on your list who have WeChat address, and you can send the Chinese, which you already have a WeChat group, by the way. And for Americans who don't use WeChat, then use email, send as attachment, maybe each time few attachment at one at a time, so they can open attachment to, see those English. Before I forget, ladies and gentlemen, we have lots of people on that. Please put your name and email address, full name and email address in the chat room. Dr. Chen, can you make sure everybody is able to leave message in the chat room?
Sure.
Make sure
Yeah.
they're able. So go
Yeah, they
ahead,
can.
Jared. Why don't you test it, Jared? Type your name and email address in chat room. So at least I make sure that it's working. Let's see. If Jared, you start typing, I should see. And Dr. Chen, you can type in something. So I just want to make sure that. So everybody just put your name, email address in the chat room so that Dr. Chen can take a snapshot, and therefore that we're making sure that you're on the email list, because if we have a change of time for the future Shi Ban Gong Bei Zoom, we want to be able to get to you. So the only way to get to you is to be able to inform you the new time. Dr. Chen, I do not see any new input in chat room. Does that mean that people cannot input? Corey, can you try something? Type something, Corey, in the chat room. Because I
Yeah.
don't see
They already put the email in the chat room.
but I don't see any input.
Hmm?
Do you see it?
I can see, yeah, I can see everyone.
Oh, yes, I see now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Good. So I see. I was looking at the wrong screen. So
Call me
I see
Chuan. Okay.
Corey. I see, yeah, Ranger Chang. So I'm gonna just okay, yeah, everybody.
Call me Chuan video and book wanted.
Okay. Yes. And for those of you who are interested in the book, please email me your mailing address. Email me your mailing address. Okay, because if you need to do that, otherwise I cannot mail it to you. And there will be a little present. It's a gift. So email me your mailing address as such. And as last thing today, I'm going to suggest, I always suggest this is a fun part. Let's take a picture, everybody, together, and unmute your camera. Unmute your camera. And Dr. Chen, can you put on the gallery view?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The gallery view.
I put the
And we just
gallery.
take a picture. So this moment, everybody together, this group of friends, with this point in our life's journey, this moment will never be replicated. So it's nice to
Yeah, everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have a gallery view?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not on gallery view. Maybe I should try. Let me see if I gallery. Oh yeah, I got gallery. Okay. So everybody look at the screen and let's take a picture. 3, 2, 1. One more picture. Put up the thumb. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Thank you, everyone, and see you, everyone. Any question?
My questions are, I need to jump on with you soon, but I just want to know more about your femtosecond laser and like how do you gauge the internal anatomy? I mean, everybody's going to have different convex, everyone's going to have different curvature. I mean, I'm just curious, how do you adapt that to the individual?
Great question. When you look at microscopically, imagine yourself as little ant or even smaller creature across on the surface of the eyeball, everybody. You may think our eyeball, or most of us think eyeball is pretty smooth, round sphere. No, it's actually lumpy and bumpy. It's like the road after snow. It's lumpy and bumpy. It's very irregular. So it's a little late the challenge in laser eye surgery. How do you treat a irregular lumpy bumpy surface? And everybody's different, right? In order to correct myopia, hyperopia, astigmatism. And the answer is in the femtosecond laser. And the femtosecond laser, femto, is 10 to minus 15 seconds. 10 to minus 15. That means 0.000000014 zeros, 1 second. Just give you a sense how short 1 femtosecond is. Speed of light is 300,000 kilometers per second, right? In 1 second, light can turn around the Earth 7.5 times. So light is that fast. In 1 second, light can travel around the Earth at the equator 7.5 times. But if you give such a fast traveling light 1 femtosecond, you know how far the light can travel? It's only barely make 1 circle around 1 strand of hair. So femtoseconds extremely, extremely short. In fact, in the last 5 years, 2 of the last 5 years Nobel Prize winners in physics invented femtosecond laser. You see how important femtosecond laser discovery is. It's a laser that I use every day. And I have participated in some of the research and trying to adapt to eye surgery, right? So because it's so short, it literally can do microscopic surgery based on each of these pulses. And to give you sense how small the scale is, the spatial scale, Jared, it's like 1 red blood cell, 7 micron. 1 micron is 1,000th of a millimeter, right? 7 micron per red blood cell. If I'm going to remove 1 cell on the surface of the eye, 1 red blood cell, it will take 30 laser pulses to remove 1 cell. Because each laser pulse, because femtosecond is so short, it's actually literally only remove 1/4 of a micron. It's 0.25 quarter. So a red blood cell is 7 micron. So it's going to take 30 pulses using the femtosecond laser to actually remove 1 cell. So we're literally doing surgeries in a subcellular resolution. For example, 99.8% of my patients I've been able to correct within a target of 0.25 micron in 99.8% of the time. That's why it's impossible to do what I do now with human hand. It's not possible. And that's why it's so important to have the lasers. But the thing is, these advanced surgeries, you know, the SMILE, which is making LASIK obsolete, implantable contact lens, for young lens surgery to treat the presbyopia, the reading difficulty when we get older, and also laser cataract surgery. These laser applications in the United States today, as advanced, as safe, and precise it is, only 5% surgeons are using it. 95% today are still using older technology, the blade. Why? It's because technology is so fast developing, most of the doctors still learning, and also doctors are more just like to use what they were trained in residency, 20 years ago, which is blade. But I always tell all of my doctor friends that we got to learn whatever's latest because it's all about the vision quality we're generating in our patient. It's not about utilizing whatever you used to do. It's about utilizing whatever the best. So United States using this top 4 technologies, femtosecond laser only, etc., only 5% of the time. Only 5% surgeons, even in the United States, most advanced country in the world. But at the One Vision Institute, as I mentioned, we use 100%. We are number 1 in America today in the percentage of laser application in advanced eye surgeries because of my dual training in MD, but also PhD in laser physics. That's why I published these 10 textbooks. I want to help. My life's goal, my purpose for life is to share what I have with the world. So I want to teach those surgeons as quickly as they can improve their weak area, which is technology. Most of the doctors got an MD, but very few has the opportunity, as I had, to obtain the 2nd doctorate degree in laser physics. But you're using laser. You're using laser to do eye surgeries. You better know both sides of the story, not just medicine, but also technology. So I'm using my skill as a laser physicist, publish these textbooks, and hoping surgeons around the world, including the United States, can pick up the laser technology quickly so that in the not too distant future, all of our patients will enjoy laser rather than still have the backward old style blade surgery as such.
Fascinating, because you should do a video. You should do a video and educate young kids on, because my favorite's Bruce Lee. He's so fast, Bruce Lee. But that's what I guess it's probably like a quadrillionth of a second, right?
Yeah, I know.
So I mean, how fast is? I mean, that's so fast. I mean, I would love to see the inside of that. Like, what kind of transistor and capacitors? I mean, how do you guys control the energy? That's really cool.
We are only in the beginning because the integrated circuit made by RISRM, the Taiwanese company. Now the integrated chip is into 3 micron. Very soon a sub-micron chip will become available. So that means what? That means in the area of 1 grain of rice, 1 grain of rice, in that small area, now a human being can already pack like 10,000 transistors.
Right.
Very soon it'll be 1 million.
Crazy.
So literally we are going to have, it's all about miniaturization. It's all about miniaturization. I mean, as miniaturized as the integrated circuit now, in the United States, the common mode is about 5, 7 micron, but 3 micron is the top of technology. The NVIDIA is using it. So despite the miniaturization, you see how massive the data center is. I mean, data center today is incredible. It's so massive. It's like total waste of land and electricity. Nashville to fully power everybody's cell phone, enable everybody's cell phone has enough bandwidth in terms of speed of processing our cell phone. If Nashville is going to do that, build enough data center, it will consume quarter of it Nashville's electricity. It's literally a draining of our human resources, natural resources. So the answer is miniaturization. And very soon we're going to be able to miniaturize everything so small we can significantly reduce the electricity consumption so much. That's the future of AI. AI's future is in miniaturization. AI's future is not those bigger, massive data centers. It's in the smaller data centers. And in order to do that, you have to really reach sub-micron chips.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Fascinating. Okay. Anybody else have any question?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, Ping. Yes. How are you?
Good. Hi, Dr. Ming. Yeah, it's a great lecture, and I wish I attended earlier. But anyway, you mentioned you are going to share the videos through WeChat.
Yes.
And
yes. Yes.
And I think I lost the connection with you. So would you double check for some reason?
No problem. Yeah, I'm going to ask Dr. Chen to do it. Dr. Chen has an entire list of everybody. So Dr. Chen is going to share. I have 25 video now. It soon will become 77 because this volunteer, remarkable. It's this young guy I've never met, lives in China, in Jiangsu province. I've never met him. He just popped out of nowhere. He WeChat me one day. He said, I'm going to be volunteer. I'm going to do those videos for you free of charge. So he did 25 and his goal is to finish all 77. So each of these videos has an English version and Chinese version. So Dr. Ming Chen, our volunteer Shi Ban Gong Bei organizer, is going to, through WeChat, send the Chinese version of all 25 videos to each of you. Oh, by the way, everybody, go ahead and put it into your chat room, or in the chat room also if you use WeChat, your WeChat address as well. Dr. Chen, can you take a snapshot and therefore put these into your WeChat situation? And he's forming a group ping, and therefore all of the WeChat users will get both Chinese and English version. But for people who don't use WeChat, then Dr. Chen is going to find a way, such as emailing through as an attachment, the English version of these pros as well. So go ahead, put in the chat room, anybody, if you want to, the WeChat address as well. Let me just kind of take a picture of what's available in the chat room already. Let's see. Okay, as a double security, everybody please write down my email address. It's in the chat room, in the email address, because if you need a book, in case I or Dr. Chen did not sample your information correctly out of the chat room, go ahead and email me. right after the Zoom, go ahead and email me with your mailing address. And that way, double security, so we'll make sure you will get your book as such. Okay? Email me your mailing address. So everybody take a look at the chat room. You see my email address there. And take a picture of the chat room, my email address. Email me your mailing address. So I'll mail to you the Shi Ban Gong Bei book as a little gift. You can finish reading the whole book, Shi Ban Gong Bei, in 10 minutes. So then you can carry it with you. You have to use it every day. Otherwise, it's not going to be helpful. But also, Dr. Chen will also send each of you a collection of videos through WeChat for those who use WeChat, both English and Chinese, and through email for those who only use, who don't use WeChat as such.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ping. Anybody else had any question? So I want to finish by thank Dr. Dr. Ming Chen, any last minute comment, any question that regarding, you think you'll be able to, I'll send through WeChat all 25 videos, both English and Chinese. My placeholder suggestion to you, Dr. Chen, is through your WeChat group, send to that group both Chinese and English. But then for the different collection of email addresses, then you just need to email to those folks only the English version, but maybe you may email, I don't know how many video you can email at one time as attachment. You may need to split up a little bit so people can have that. And anybody who has, if you happen to have cell phone, you can text them as well. But I suggest everyone not only read the book, but also getting those videos because it's very well made video. Each video is only a few minutes, literally that can kind of turn each prose into a very lively tool. And then you can listen to the Shi Ban Gong Bei prose when you're driving. Because together, we need to recognize we are inefficient, we are irrational, and we are emotional human being, 90%. Emotional elephant, only 10% little elephant rider. Little tiny elephant rider on top of elephant does not have the power to control the elephant. That's why 90% of the time we only do things what we feel like doing. And that is often not the best one. That's often the irrational one and inefficient one. Recognizing that and specifically do things intentionally, logically, you can literally improve your efficiency, even if not 10 times or 1,000%, 500% or 200%, it's probably good enough, right? You literally can do more things. That's my little pearl. I'm able to do a lot more things than probably most of my friends, not because I'm smarter, it's because I literally have learned these Shi Ban Gong Bei pearls from my friends, classmates, colleagues over the last 40-some years who are a lot smarter than me, who like Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg, they are successful not because they have extra head or extra arm, it's because they literally do things differently compared with most of us. The main difference between how these billionaires do things and how we do things is they recognize human weakness for irrationality, inefficiency. They literally make themselves 1,000% more efficient. That's how Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos accomplished. That's how billionaires do things. And we can learn that too. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. And see you August 19th. In the chat room, you see August 19th next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dr. Wang. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.